Hello out there, I hope you're all staying safe and well. I have a bit of a channel ramble for you later, but for now let's just have a look at what ARC is looking like this week. It's been pretty light on the ground for news for a while, but remember, we're still in a pandemic. This has been going on for almost a year now, and a lot of workplaces have had to adapt to new working conditions, and projects that they maybe wanted to work on have probably been put to one side. And even without that, we're in this kind of have patience kind of a window. There's a lot of big projects that have been put on the table and been worked on, and I think that's making us all really impatient for more news. So let's have a quick look at what we know for now. Genesis is estimated to be released in March this year. I say estimated because it says March 2021, but DLC is always pushed back for ARC. So I'd expect to start hearing about it in March and a later release date. ARC 2 and the animated series aren't due until 2022, so I wouldn't expect any other reveals for a long while yet, though I've seen some little snippets of character art floating around on Twitter. So whereas it looks like they're staying quite quiet about ARC 2 for now, the animated series has been building up some quiet hype by the look of it for next year. I have a little prediction. I reckon that after the Valentine's event, which will hopefully go ahead in the next couple of weeks and probably last for a few weeks itself, we'll start getting some more information on Genesis Part 2. In March and throughout the summer, I think everything is going to be about Genesis. Then come the summer, hopefully we'll get our summer event, then Halloween, turkey trials and Christmas. Then we're going to be in 2022, and then I would expect some more information on ARC 2 in the animated series. Throughout all that happening, with Genesis 2 being the final DLC being released for ARC 1, I think it'll be interesting to see if we get more TLCs and potentially fixes to annoying things and whatever before the next game comes out. And I really hope that ARC 1 doesn't get left by the wayside on the release of ARC 2, because I think there's still a lot they could do just to kind of build it up a little bit with TLCs and the like. But we'll see what happens. And can you believe I'm talking about ARC 1 and ARC 2? That's just the most exciting thing. I think over this next year we're going to start getting an idea of what direction Wildcard is going to be going in over the next few years. So although there's not much been happening recently, I think come March the ARC scene is just going to explode with activity. So let's just hang in there and see what happens. But what about today? What about this week? Let's have a look at what's been going on. So we've got the Community Crunch number 252, and just like last week we got to have a look at some of the statistics. I had to try really hard to say that, which has been a little bit controversial because I think a lot of people want to see bug fixes and new content and sneak peeks, and which is totally understandable, and I'm chomping at the bit too. But personally, I quite like seeing all this. It's exactly what I want to be seeing in a community. It's exactly what I want to be seeing in a community newsletter. So the last couple of weeks we've been seeing the number of kills by wild dinos and the number of players killed by weapon type. I think the kills refer to wild dinos killing players rather than wild dinos killing everything, because I can't see a Dilophosaurus getting more kills in general than something bigger, the likes of a Rex or something, because Rex can hold their own and can kill more over a longer period of time, where a Dilophosaur goes up against a Trike and will probably be killed quite quickly. So I reckon this is players killed by wild dinos. And my guess on how to read this, because Wildcard, you've not labelled your graph, and that's a no-no, you've got to label your graphs. I think these different colours refer to the different platforms here, and the chunk of colour is the amount of kills for that platform. And then the whole bar adds up to the amount of kills in total, so you can see both at a glance how many kills there's been on each platform and which dino is getting the most kills across the board. It's also interesting, I think, to see the different playstyles on PC compared to the consoles, with the PC players using more advanced weaponry and the console players using more primitive weaponry. I wonder if maybe people on PC play for longer and have more established bases, whereas console players aren't really getting the chance to, are being killed quicker and are not getting that chance to build up a base, or maybe they're not playing for as long and moving on to something else. I don't really play PvP, so I'm actually kind of interested to see other people's theories on this. It's maybe not something that interests everybody, but I quite like this, looking at data and what's been going on and stuff. Moving on, once again, there's no Evo event this week, and this has been going on for a while. I've seen a few theories floating around the forums about what's going on, but again, I don't play official, I'm not going to comment on it, I'm going to end up speaking rubbish. But I will say the Valentine's event hopefully will be coming up this month, and I'm sure that's going to have some increased rates, and I would say maybe if you play official, I would make the most of the time that is going to be coming up, so I would prepare any of your potential breeding projects, levelling up, resource gathering for around that time, and hopefully you won't have too long to wait for it. Now the fan art section has been expanded and renamed the Community Corner, and this week it includes some builds on YouTube. So if you really like your speed builds, it's worth maybe having a look and seeing what they've included. I really want to watch this one with a roof because I have no idea how they did that and it looks really cool. Looking at patches now, all platforms have seen some of the same fixes, being a bug fix that allowed the Velonosaur to have infinite stamina while firing spikes. There was another one that prevented players from accessing the Ferox inventory, and another one that caused the wild beehives to overspawn. And then there was also a server crash that's been fixed for all of us, but it's not been specified what that is, so yeah. Exclusive to PC players have had a billboard bug fix that only allowed 24 characters. There's a typo that's been fixed with the Ovis Chibi. We no longer can destroy the obelisk with admin commands, which has been a problem for a few people. And there's also this little note here: after placing a structure, the placement HUD will remain active if the player has any more items of that structure available to place. I didn't know this was a thing, but I play with superstructures, and they've added that anyway, so now I'm not sure if that's now a vanilla feature, and I don't actually have time to go and test it out myself. In other news, having a look at Twitter, Dolly, a project manager for Ark, posted on the 28th that changes to flyer speed on unofficial servers on consoles will be happening in the next client update, though she doesn't have an exact date for when this is going to be. It may already be out by the time you see this, so I would keep an eye out if you're playing unofficial on a console. After having a route around the internet, I can't really find any solid information on what this is, but I have seen a few comments here and there about it either being an increase in speed across the board, or being able to level points into speed, which I doubt because they took that away years ago, so I can't see them adding it back in and just for consoles, and I'm not sure what the reason for that would be. Either way, it's coming, so keep an eye on your change notes to see when they update. And a date to put in your diary if you've been playing on the beginner servers: they will be wiped again on the 23rd of March, so seeing as they were just wiped on the 27th of January, now is a good time to hop on a server with some other beginner players if you want to learn the game, and potentially make some new friends. In modding news, I haven't really been keeping up with the modding scene recently. Other than the mods on the server I play on personally, biggest news for me has been the gun wheel change in superstructures, and I'm in the no thank you camp. But we should definitely have a look at the sponsored mods for this month, and oh my god, they look good. So the first one is Survival of the Fittest 2 Revival. Not my cup of tea, but if you enjoyed tournaments back in the day and you play PvP, this could be a really exciting thing for you. HG Build offers a range of new sci-fi building pieces that look really neat. If you were building your own Jurassic Park in-game, I feel like this would be a really good fit. Simple Spawners is an amazing server tool that's been around for a long while. Long story short, you can set up spawns on any map in specific locations, whether it be dinos or resources. It's an incredibly powerful tool and deserving of being a sponsored mod. Dino Hoarders TLC has made it to being a sponsored mod, which is great because it's always looked very promising. This gives some of the more dated creatures a TLC similar to Wildcard's updates. So far it's included the Dilophosaur, the Turtle and the Carno, with a whole lot more in the works. This is definitely one to watch. Finally, Tiamat is an ocean themed map that has its own story and a few new creatures, including a panda. It's not complete yet like many other map mods, but it's pretty unique and looks promising. And that's all I've got for you news-wise today. I'm going to leave some links to all my sources in the description if you want to check anything out yourself. Now, very quick channel ramble, I'm going to start streaming while I do some chores around my base, hatching eggs, doing resource runs, maybe a bit of taming, stuff like that. Nothing super exciting, but if you want to come chat Ark news and chill out while you're doing your own chores, I will be on Twitch Monday mornings around 8 AM, 9 AM GMT time. No promises. This is an experiment to see if I actually enjoy streaming, and as you can see with previous content on this channel, I have a really busy life and don't always have time to work on my little YouTube project. But right now, this moment, I'm stuck at home, I'm caught up on life and have a little bit of extra free time on a Monday morning. I'm going to be playing Ark anyway, so why not take the opportunity to do something that I've always wanted to try. Now, this whole YouTube, Twitch thing for me is just a hobby. I'm not looking to make a career in content creation, so don't expect too much of a schedule, but I am still kicking about and this is still something I want to do. And a quick note on Genesis Part 2. Basically, I have some really big assessments to do from March till June, so I'm not going to make any promises over that period of time because I'm going to have some big stuff going on. I've probably not sold myself very well here, but I'd rather be honest and I'm not going to make any promises I can't keep. So, long story short, streaming sometimes on a Monday morning, Ark news and rounds up when life isn't too hectic. I hope you're all staying safe out there. If you've stuck around to the end, you're a nice person. Thanks for watching, I hope you're feeling up to speed, and go and have a fun week in Ark.